So I ran into a little bit of a problem. You see I got the elbow on there, looking good. Coolant temperature sensor runs down there, and the manifold air temperature sensor plugged in fine. I ran my return line like I said I was gonna. I don't know if you see down there, but it's down there. That worked out all right. But now, since I got little shorty fuel injectors, it hits. I am going to have to do some clearancing here. It's not only that, I have to get this fitting on there too. Get that on there and see how much more I might have to take out than I actually think. If I can ever get it in there. Yeah, something like that. Maybe I can just cut a slot in there like that. I almost need a, excuse me, geez, a 90 on there. Dilemma, dilemma, dilemma. And it ain't like these are easy to find. I hate to screw it up. I guess if I cut it out and it comes too weak, I can always weld it back up. But looks like throttle position cable will be long enough. Air idle control plugs in here somewhere also, or somewhere. If I had the throttle body in here, I'd be able to figure it out, but I don't. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Well, I'm going to start by I see the marker line on there. I put right through there, up through there, and across there. I laid the fuel rail in there, and I kind of shifted it over, because that's, you know, the final position it'll be in. So I'm going to start cutting there. So I'm just going to take this off next. There it is, all cut up. Painted it. You know, my favorite color, black, of course. Well, I ran into a couple more little problems. Well, but first, see how I got it all cut out? Clear as nice. Happy with that. End up clearing it out a little bit bigger than what I really need. I really don't have to worry about this bracket flexing. The thing's thick. I was surprised when I started cutting it. But, well, the problem I have is these cables for my idle air control motor and throttle position sensor are just too short, because they all come in from the front, and my cable's only long enough to go to the back, because the coolant temperature sensor one goes way down to the bottom of the block, and I assume on a V8, especially an LS, even though it's a universal kit, is somewhere up here in the front. So what I think I'm going to do is just cut that cable, and I think this is the one for it, an extra one. I can just splice that in there, and that much length ought to get me long enough. Or I could lengthen both of them, but it'd be easier just to do that one, as long as everything else clear, you know, is long enough. Which one for my fuel pressure transducers should be long enough. I think that's the only one that goes down there. What else I got down there? I don't remember. Oh, manifold air temperature sensor. You know, I think that'll be long enough. So that's my plan. I think I'm just going to lengthen that cable And oh, my other little problem is right there. Full throttle. It's got this little part of the throttle body comes down and hits that part of the intake elbow. So I have to clear that out, or because it's kind of like a universal fit elbow. I mean, I think it can take a GM 3-bolt throttle body and a Ford 5-liter Mustang throttle body. So here's getting a little closer. I got some parts in. Got my 4-inch to 2.5-inch adapter. I remember that was hitting there. Just put a big chamfer on it. Just chamfered the sharp edge on there so make sure it would never, hit. Clears good now. Plus there's no gasket in it yet, so that'll give me a little bit extra room. My wires came in. I figured out it was gonna be easier to extend these two because when one goes down to the coolant temperature sensor, if I unhook that, I still can't get these over good. So this one's a little bit short, but so yeah. So I got this on there. Now I had to shorten up my piece of pipe from there to there, and I'm going to show you a neat little trick. I looked it up on YouTube. I didn't invent it, but had a intercooler pipe, put a little bead in there without spending a lot of money, doing it on the cheap. So what I'm going to do is, I got this 2.5-inch muffler clamp. I'm going to weld, I need 3 hands here. I'm going to weld, hold on, weld this part to the bottom, and then I'm going to chop off the ends so we just have a little bit of a radius in there. So then what you do is you put this part of the clamp on there, and then this will be welded to that, and then you just keep on going around, and I'll show you after I get done welding this and cutting this. And there's the finished product. I did mine a little bit different. See on the bottom part? That's part of the U-bolt. I welded it on there and then cut the ends off. And the guy that I watched the video, they were using washers, thick washers. I thought, well, you got the U-bolt with the clamp, you might as well just use that. And he didn't weld the upper part of the clamp to the vice grips. I did. It looked like he was doing a lot of fumbling around with it, trying to position every time. So why not just weld it? Then all you do is put it on there. Do that a few times. And there, you can see, puts a bead. It's not perfect, but it's something to hold the hose on. I mean, if I went around there a couple more times, I'm sure I could make it a little bit better, but this is my first attempt. Looks like I should have made the bead just a little bit further back. I got too close to the end. It started to deform the end a little bit. But yeah, I think it'll work pretty good. I mean, there's enough bead there that it ain't gonna pull over that, especially with the clamp on there. So once again, I'm up on my 10-minute mark for my video. So this is gonna be a part 3 coming up.
Hard to believe I can milk it out to 3 videos, but I am going to do it. See ya.